Hello, and welcome to Lost Caravan RPG, where we do one-shots, miniseries, and long-running campaigns. If it's a TRPG, we pretty much do it all. My name is Jason Fryer, writer, game designer, and general curmudgeon. You can find me at Otter Poet on the Twitter. Tonight, we are playing Cult Divinity Lost, specifically the last transmission. And before we go on to tonight's introduction, I'd like to introduce the cast who have volunteered for this evening. And before we do that, we just have a few announcements. We have three sponsors: HeroForge.com, Epidemic.com, and Soul Muppet Publishing, one of the coolest names I've ever read. You can use our links posted in the chat to support us and the content we make. If you want to check out our previous streams, we have hundreds of hours of content just waiting for you on our YouTube channel. And if you want to support us and our community by checking out our merch, you can find that at our website, lostcaravanrpg.com. And now let's go around and let everybody introduce themselves and tell us who they're playing this evening. First, I'd like to introduce Dido.
Hello, I am Dido11. I will be playing Dr. Anastasia tonight. She is an anthropologist who saw some things and is ready to see things again. I don't think she really is ready, but we'll find
out. Next up is Mir.
Changed my name on Zoom just to mess with you. Hi, I'm Mir. You can find me on the internet as Mir Draws. I am playing Ren tonight, who is a podcaster who has a podcast that delves into weird things that happen, particularly things of a more supernatural nature and kind of urban legendy weird shit. So yeah, that's me.
Next, Iris.
Hi.
LC.
I also changed my name. I'm sorry. I'm Elsie, as apparently the chat already knows. Thanks, Nick. I will be playing Iris tonight. She is helping Ren with the recording and the videography of said strange occurrences. Does she have other stuff going on? Maybe. Is she part of a cult? Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm very terrified of this game. Will Jason be more successful at killing me than Hooper? Stick around and find out.
Only time will tell. JD, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, I am JD. You can find me on the internet, on social media at JD, not Jason Dean. And tonight I am playing Sebastian, who is a priest. Does he have cult experience? Who knows, but he did go to seminary school, so that's what's important. And he is here to make sure that nobody gets possessed by anything. It'll be fine.
And finally, Benji.
Hi, I'm Benji. You can find me on the internet most places at Chance47. And tonight I'll be playing Brody, a sensitive soul who saw that which man was not meant to see. And will he break down again? Probably. Yes. No spoilers.
Perfect. Thank you. As I said, I'm Jason Fryer. This is Cult Divinity Lost. It's a game for mature players that explores mature themes. So if it's a little too much for you, maybe this isn't going to be your episode. But we completely understand. And otherwise, we hope you enjoy the story tonight. Call it opportunity. Call it fate. Call it obsession. Whatever the reason, you find yourselves driving headlong into the verdant nightmare of upstate New York. Although the sun remains high, the imposing tree line has stolen much of the light, casting the narrow highway in emerald shadows. In the distance, the high peaks loom, unseen, yet ever present in their grandeur. The city is forgotten, civilization surrendering itself to forest and fields with unforgiving finality. and you are, for a better word, lack of a word, lost. Brody is at the wheel of your camper van. The GPS has been unreliable at best, hinting vaguely at your destination. Yet your destination remains oddly elusive. Even every new bend in the road reveals nothing more than a cracked and tarred asphalt. Not a gas station, not a sign, not even a country lane, and certainly not the town of Willow Hills or the crumbling ruins of the Adirondack Railway, your ultimate destination. You all may, for all you know, you've been lost in a primordial world, now utterly alone, except for those sitting beside you, jostling together in the cramped and warm van. At least, if you go missing here, consumed by the forest and rumors, you'll have each other, and maybe, just maybe, that's some small comfort. Brody, what are you doing other than being lost?
Brody is dutifully trying to keep the van in line, make sure we don't have a bumpy ride, but given that we're in the rural back roads, it's probably not as easy as he would like. He's staring out ahead, absentmindedly tapping his fingers on the wheel, just trying to keep a sense of rhythm, keep calm.
And who's beside you in the front seat?
Oh, I think Ren would have shotgun, the person with all the plans. I think Ren is probably going over some of those plans, and Brody's trying to commit them to memory as best as possible.
Sounds
Ren,
about right.
you've dragged all these people out here for some reason. Why don't you tell us what that is?
Drag is such a strong word. They chose to come with. They chose. That's an important thing. We are coming out for a variety of reasons, but the main one is that my podcast is trying to solve a mystery of what happened to a friend of mine that disappeared. That friend disappeared, and a while later, I received information. Their notes scribbled, as well as mysterious notes that did not come in the mail, just appeared on my desk. A little unnerving, but par for the course for someone that looks into weird shit. Uh, so the most recent of those was a note pointing everybody to pointing them to Willow Hills. And so that is where Ren has set their sights, which so happens to also coincide with a number of other people's experiences, interests within this group. Ren has collected a collaboration of people that all have various experiences in and around Willow Hills, or are friends with people who do, to Ren's knowledge, to go check this out together instead of alone.
And right now, how are you feeling that you haven't been able to find this Willow Hills, even though you've probably been driving for extra hours?
I have already had a fight with the GPS. Multiple fights with the GPS. Arguments with the GPS out loud. Have resorted to digging the atlas out of the glove compartment and attempting to navigate via actual physical maps, which is probably a good 10 years out of date, if not 20. But we're trying. We're going to get there.
Dr. Anastasia, you're kind of used to expeditions, you're used to difficulties. and changes in plans. How are you feeling right now?
She is used to the drivers getting lost, because a lot of her expeditions are in the middle of nowhere where GPS doesn't really pick them up. But she does have a map out in front of her, and she goes, Ren, I told you, turn that damn thing off. 10 miles back. Use a map.
I'm looking at one.
Well, then maybe we should take a step outside of the car. And we know we're looking for a possible mass grave site. Maybe we can find evidence of one or something that'll point us in the right direction that the GPS and our maps can't find.
Question. Have we seen any signs of people? Buildings, gas stations, anything?
That's the weirdest thing about this is it's almost like you're on a loop that you just keep on driving, and it's almost like you're seeing the exact same trees. You're not seeing any variance in it.
I have named the trees by this point. We've been by them so many times. That one is Fred. That one is John. That one is Dave.
And Brody would know that you have not met any forks in the road or changes. It's almost like you're driving in a circle, but how?
Or maybe we should start marking some trees, landmarks.
Let's do it then. 'Cause driving isn't working.
You want me to pull over, boss?
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, Iris, you feel the car beginning to slow. You're kind of. I'm assuming you're in the far back with Sebastian. Would that make sense?
Absolutely.
That tracks.
You've been feeling a little out of sorts ever since you entered the forest near Willow Hills. It's kind of like a feeling of deja vu or nostalgia. But for what, you're not really sure. It's like you've been here before, but you know that you've definitely not been here before. Probably amongst the rest, depending on how you take this, it could either be it's like, coming home. So that could be a pleasant experience or a negative experience. Which do you feel?
Is there a third option for in between negative and positive?
Oh, absolutely.
I definitely think that this nostalgia, this pulling towards deja vu of something that I don't know but know is absolutely uncomfortable. And whatever this deja vu is, I don't think she can really determine whether or not what she's not remembering is good or bad. Good because it feels right. It feels like it fits. Like this is supposed to be a place she knows and feels at home. But the negative connotations that her mind, like that itching at the back of her brain, absolutely tells her that fight or flight says flight.
So as the car slows, what do you do?
Her leg is kind of like bouncing like up and down nervously. A nervous tick she didn't even realize she was doing until the car slowed. And I think she would be looking out the window trying to find any kind of thing to latch onto that would tell her where they are, because she's been listening to Ren argue with the GPS, to Anastasia and Ren argue about whether to use a map or not, who's using a map. Ren is using a map, she should use a different map. And she's just like very uncertain that they should get out at this point, because if they're lost, why would they get out at a place that feels so weird and feels like a bad idea? But I think she'd go ahead and do it anyways, because the whole experience of this podcast is going to creepy places and looking at creepy things. So nothing absolutely has ever really felt safe while working on this podcast. I think it's always that itching at the back of your brain, no matter where they are.
Makes sense. And across from you, Sebastian, you've been having a really weird sensation. I mean, you've had the same familiarity. And maybe you've told this to people, maybe you're keeping it quiet, but your wrists have been aching ever since you came into the forest. Like a heavy weight or something biting into them. And occasionally when the shadows from the trees flash over your skin, you swear you see metal, old rusted metal. And then the image is gone. But you feel that weight just pulling you down.
I think when the trip started, Sebastian was sitting beside Iris and holding her hand. But as we've continued and as things have felt weirder, he didn't even realize that he moved to sit across from her instead of next to her, and has just been sitting there looking down at his clasped hands, ever so often absentmindedly rubbing at his wrists. He doesn't even realize that the car is slowing up until the point where he sees Iris go to move.
And slowly you hear the crunch of gravel as one of the wheels goes onto the side of the road and the camper van slows to a crawl and then to a stop. You've somehow parked, Brody, in a perfect spot where the shadows are over the van, so you can kind of see light, like a tunnel of light ahead of you and a tunnel of light behind you. You're still in open air, but it's just like, are there clouds or is it just the trees? It just everything seems to be washed out.
I'm getting a quick video around of this effect. All right,
Anyone doing
Doctor. Are we
Yep.
marking the trees or are we taking a look around?
Which do you want to do? You're the boss.
Yeah, and you're the consultant that actually knows shit.
All right, well, according to the map, we should be about a mile away from Willow Hill.
In which
2 hours ago.
direction? Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So what we should probably start doing is that GPS, maps, the van are not helping us. We can use, and she pulls out of her pack like these bright red, just like they just look like strips of fabric. We can start tying these to trees, and we'll know if we see them. Somehow we've ended up back where we started.
And what will that give us?
Well, it will give us confirmation that there's more at play than nature in these areas. Is that not what we're looking for?
I suppose it would give proof, but I think we already know this.
Then we know if we find this, we go in a direction that we haven't seen, that we don't see a red marker.
Brody will grab the flags and just start heading out to the car towards one of the trees to tie it on.
Yeah, as soon as you open up the door, I mean, this kind of the summer heat hits you. The smell of the trees and the undergrowth and the loam are just, I mean, it's like I said, it's primordial here. The city is definitely forgotten now. You are definitely in the country. Anybody with allergies is probably going to start sneezing soon. You kind of go down into the ditch towards the tree line. The undergrowth is pretty thick. But yeah, you can mark one of the trees if you like.
Brody, always wanting to make sure that he's doing a good job, kind of like waves back over to them and is like, "This one, this tree, or this tree."
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
That
well,
one.
Any tree, Brody,
That
any
one.
tree.
Okay.
Do that one.
And then he'll start tying it on.
Okay. Brody, because you're outside the vehicle, you now notice there is another vehicle parked maybe 50 yards behind you.
I'll point to the vehicle, like wave at everyone and point.
I'll look first through the van, and if I can't see it, I'll open the door and step out to look out.
Okay, you see what looks like a very old police car sitting there. The lights aren't on, and when I say old, it's probably the old designs from like the 50s and 60s.
There's
So
a cop
basically,
car back here.
a big chunk of metal.
Do we want to check it out?
I mean, that's what we're here for, I guess,
can-
right?
You can hear the engine running.
In the old car?
It just seems to be sitting there idling.
Maybe we could ask for directions.
Can we?
Multiple of us should go.
How far did you say the cop car was from us?
About 50 yards.
Can we like?
And we
is
don't
there,
remember seeing it as we were driving up.
No. And you
Is
would
there-
have probably have seen it. Maybe you were just so focused on finding Tucker Anastasia's tree, you just missed it.
Naming them.
Yep.
Naming the trees. We missed the cop car.
And just Sebastian, you're kind of like going like this, just unconsciously. And you see 6 little blooms of blood just bead up, as if needles have been punctured in.
He
Nobody
flinches.
else notices. Yeah, for the record, nobody else notices that.
He flinches and is just staring down at his arms at this point. He is not listening to the conversation about the cop car or anything else.
Can we see like any silhouette in the cop car? I know you wouldn't be able to see details from 50 yards away, but can you see like a potential driver?
Yeah. I mean, there's the light, like the indifferent light, kind of plays across the windscreen, but you can see it's either the chair or a head. It's just basically a black hole inside of the vehicle.
I think Brody will start slowly approaching the car, like one of those like, hey buddy kind of moments, to see
Iris Ren will jog to catch up.
see if someone rolls down a window or steps out.
Anyone else?
Anastasia's following kind of behind because she's still like dictating into her recorder like details about the cop car and what it looks like and how it's out of place.
How?
Actually, can Anastasia do the first evening?
I'm sure.
Observe a situation.
Okay.
Although technically it's not the first roll of the evening. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sebastian.
15. What? So that is reason 18.
Actually, it's observe a situation is perception.
Perception. Okay. So 17.
17. All right, you get to ask 2 questions. And it can be, what is my best way through this? What currently poses the greatest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What's being hidden from me? And what seems strange about this?
I mean, she already thinks that the cop car in general is strange. What should we be on the lookout for? And what is being hidden from me?
Okay. First thing that kind of comes to your mind, the license plate on the front is from 1967.
She says that obviously, and to her worker.
And what, as they're approaching, as Brody and Ren approach, you kind of get another, the sun kind of comes out, trickles across the car, and you notice bits of rust, as if it's been sunbaked for decades. And then the sun goes away, and it looks perfectly normal again. And that's when
Does-
you
Did you
see
see that?
something shift inside the vehicle.
Like,
That dark shape just kind of undulates.
is it like a humanoid shape?
It was, and then it wasn't, and then it is again.
Brody, Ren, you've got your video camera going, right?
Hey, Iris,
Yep.
come
What's up?
come join us with that camera before we get here.
Before I do that, how distracted does Sebastian look?
Very.
Very. Before I come over there with the camera, I'll let you know. I'll be there in just a second. And then I want to turn to Sebastian and ask if he's okay. Like, what's up? You don't look here. Where are you?
He doesn't, at least initially, respond to you.
I'm gonna put a hand like on your shoulder, but more like towards the neck, like 2 fingers on the neck and 1 on the shoulder, like this, and say again, Sebastian, hey, where are you? You're not here right now. Come back to the present. What are you thinking?
As soon as Iris touches you, it's like that. There's like a flip, and the blood is gone. You kind of feel like this wash of, relief. And that weight is slightly lifted.
And he kind of jerks back into his body and exhales and blinks a few times and then looks over at you, Iris, and attempts a small smile and says, "Sorry, I just got lost in my thoughts."
Yeah, I kind of figured you had that look on your face. There's a weird cop car over there. They want us to go check out. Not sure if it was there the whole time, but I think you should come too. I don't want to leave you over here alone.
Of course, we shouldn't split up. That makes perfect sense.
That'd be silly, right? And together we will go back over to the cop car with the rest, and I will bring the video camera.
Ren is stopping Brody, so that they can go together. And like wait for the camera. And 2, Ren is also calling back and asking Iris to bring their bag, like Ren's bag with all of, like with Ren's mic and recording stuff and all that too.
When Anastasia came out of the van, she had her backpack on her. She knows how these things go. But I don't think she tells Ren and Brody what's going on, but they hear her dictating it in her notes. Because that's her first priority, is to make sure like she gets what she sees before she forgets it.
Mm-hmm.
But when Iris and Sebastian come up, she'll tell Iris. The car went from rusty back to normal, and there's something moving inside. So we should not get too close.
What sort of something?
It's like a shadow. It went from like a humanoid shape, and then it shifted to not, and then shifted back.
Can I use my artifact?
Sure.
Okay. Where's my there? Okay.
I am also an expert in history, and I know I did a lot of research on this area. What was going on in 67 around Willow Hill?
With your other previous amazing role, you do recall some kind of it was a scandal amongst the police at the time. The sheriff apparently was caught murdering vagabonds. He'd pick them up, take them to the prison. That there's a very small prison in Willow Hills, and do things to them.
I tell them this, but this is a thing that that she says not into her microphone, but just like an off the cuff fun fact.
Fun fact.
Did you know that in 1967, the cops in this area were actually capturing and murdering vagabonds?
I did not know that.
ACAB.
I like that.
Didn't know that.
It was a very, very big scandal. Actually, one of many I've come across in my research of Willow Hill.
I'm gonna throw down another scandal, and it's called LC wants to check with everyone if she can use a hero point to reroll.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Use them or lose them.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to take. I don't remember if this is a collective pool of hero points, but you guys might want me to reroll. That's all I'm saying about that one.
Yeah.
This is much better.
Start this early.
No, I rolled a 5 earlier.
Okay.
This is a 14.
All right.
Plus soul makes it a 17. I rolled a 17. This is what's a very good use of hero points. No worries, guys. You and I are not in danger. And I would like, am I allowed to pick what the artifact can do? Does it change?
You can suggest it.
What
would you like?
I think I misread this when I gave myself this advantage, because I thought you could change it per time you use it, but honestly, I think it could come in handy no matter what we go with. So see the true form.
Can you describe it, by the way, just
Yes.
for everybody?
So the artifact is, you have a seemingly mundane item, and you can give it a blood offering. You can have secret words you whisper to it, basically. And whenever you activate the object, I roll. And for this particular item, I think if the GM is okay with it, I'd like to use it to see the truth of a creature or location. And for the item, it's like one of those. It's a Victorian ring that used to hold. It could hold like pieces of a dead person's hair, kind of thing. But instead, like when you flick it open, it's like a small, very, very. For anyone in chat who has, I believe, needle phobias, it's just a very small one that you can prick your finger on to give a blood offering.
Okay. Then here's what's going to happen. Brody, you're close to the vehicle as Iris is kind of coming into contact with her artifact. The window starts to roll down, and it's not an automatic. It's literally being rolled down. You still can't see the interior of the vehicle, but this miasma of hot garbage kind of pours out of the vehicle, like something has been left to rot for days in the heat. You are all lost.
Before I answer, I have an advantage called Daredevil. Would that apply in this situation?
Not this one.
Okay.
But we will use it. Trust
Okay.
me.
I'll reply. I'll say, starting to look that way, yeah.
You all kind of got some kind of a fancy vehicle there.
Oh, it's just a van.
Tourists.
We're podcasters. Okay, so a podcast. I don't have time to explain this to you.
Radio.
Excuse
We do
me?
radio.
Radio.
Okay. And again, you can't see this person. You can see like a vague silhouette moving in the car, but you can sure smell him.
We've been traveling for a while, and we haven't seen a turn, seen a left, a right.
You all gotta be city folk, don't you?
We're from all over.
What do you mean by that? All over.
But
Where
different.
are you going?
We're looking for Willow Hills.
Well, shit, you should have just said that to begin with, shouldn't you?
Oh,
You one of them hippies?
Brody tries really hard not to laugh at that, to be polite. No. No hippies here, sir. Just good,
Sure are
strong
dressed.
folk.
Well, then you just keep on going down the road. About another 2 miles. You'll find it.
Straight?
Straight. You can follow me if you want. Are you passing through, or are you staying?
Well, staying for a little bit, maybe?
Well, then you'll want to go to the hotel. I'll call ahead for you.
Oh, well, that's...
And the window starts rolling back up. The engine starts to kick in. Iris. The car isn't just rusted. There is growth all over it. And when I say growth, I'm not talking like moss or mold. It's like the driver has kind of merged with the car and slowly spread over it in a smear of red and dark and putrid green.
Did he, or it, I guess I should say at this point, say, or did he roll up the window? Did it roll up the window? I missed that. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna ask, if perhaps they dropped the name of the place they were gonna call ahead to, the name of the hotel. Is there only one hotel?
You're probably assuming in a small town like this.
Then
It's
I
a
will.
miracle there is a hotel.
Right.
I will inform the rest of the group. I don't think it would be wise to make those reservations and check in there.
The car starts pulling out. Are you guys getting out of the way? 'Cause
Iris, are
they
you saying
really
that it's
care.
are you saying that it's a you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave type of hotel?
In so many words, but I feel like we wouldn't realize we couldn't leave because we would be dead. Kind of thing. It's not a Hotel California. We're just gone.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather sleep in the van.
Agreed.
Iris, can you try to keep it together? 'Cause
Yes.
For everybody else, as I said, it just looks like an old, rusted cop car pulling out. To Iris, it looks more like a centipede or a millipede, just countless legs.
All right. For reference, is the 0 a 1 or a 10?
It's a 10.
Beautiful. Love that for me. That's a 16.
All right. So you keep it together. You grit your teeth and stay the course and watch this thing slowly scuttle away. Slowly past your camper, and then it slows.
I will turn to the rest of the group and say, he's headed to Willow Hills now. He said we could just follow him into the city. I mean, we don't have to stay at the hotel. Let's just.
Brody,
Mm-hmm.
trust me when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
We should just let him keep going and we'll follow later.
I trust Iris on this.
I have to agree with the history of the year that license plate is from. In the middle of the woods. We haven't seen a hotel. We haven't seen any sign of life.
And we've been driving straight this whole time, right, Ren?
As far as we could tell.
And we've never seen the town. Should have been there by now with his direction.
Oh, okay. Brody will kind of wave him off.
It takes a moment, but eventually the vehicle drives off slowly and disappears around the bend.
He said it was only a couple more miles. Do we want to give that a try?
We don't really
What
have any
other
more
choice
leads.
do we have?
What is our gas tank situation, actually?
If you want to go check. And to chat, this is a good time to spend villain point.
Hey. You already have 2. You can use them whenever. They don't need to buy more.
You've got about half a tank left.
Okay.
Should we be at about a half a tank? With how much we've been driving?
Technically, yes. But again, like I said, you shouldn't be at half a tank because you should have found something by now.
Mm-hmm.
So the timing and the amount that you've been driving is correct. It's just weird.
Okay.
All right. So, suggestion. How about we drive 2 miles down the road. If we don't find something or see signs of a town, we talk and figure out what we're doing instead.
And
Sebastian, since you're off on your own, you're the one that hears it first. There's a vehicle approaching from behind.
There's a car coming.
Maybe this one's from the Sentry.
I'm gonna step off a little bit further from the road than I already am.
Yeah,
Sebastian's
I'm
going to
stepping
go
off
to
and
catch up with Iris, yeah, and move off the road.
I'm making my way around to the passenger side of our vehicle.
It's another cop car. It looks almost exactly like the one before, but it's this one, because Dr. Anastasia noticed before on all the details. It's the same vehicle, but it has been refinished. So it's like somebody has tuned it up and cared for it. And it slowly comes in behind. The door opens up. Anybody doing anything?
I'm gonna put a hand on Brody. Am I near you? Where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm pretty sure we're all clustered at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back by
I'm
the
just
car,
gonna
yeah.
place a hand on Brody's forearm or bicep and be like, I'll do the talking this time.
Okay.
A pretty tall gentleman, kind of handsome, wearing a sheriff's outfit, stands up out of the car. Hey, hi. Are you broken down? Can I help you?
No, not broken down. We're just getting our stretching our legs. Just for a minute. We've been on the road a little bit. We're fine.
Oh, as long as you're all right.
Mhm.
Usually don't see anybody stopped here, so
Yeah, one of us just gets really car sick is all. That's the only reason we were stretching our legs while they maintain their lunch that we just ate.
not a problem. If I can help in any way, I'm Sheriff Brown.
Nice to meet you, Sheriff Brown.
Just doing my regular patrol.
Okay.
Sorry, and don't take this the wrong way. You just don't look like you're from around here.
Well, we're not. We're just passing through. You don't happen to know the nearest way back to the highway, do you? We were taking the scenic route, and we might have taken a wrong turn.
Oh, then you're really out of the loop. Yeah, that's about 15 miles back that way.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. GPS maps, us kids, all of that kind of stuff. Where, if I were to look on a map, because our GPS is not really working, where would we be?
Have you
Per se.
got one? I can point it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, Ren'll grab the map that they were using and bring it over to.
Okay. Is it all right if I show you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes the map, kind of lays it out on the hood of the car, and he points right to Willow Hills.
Can I ask, do his clothes look recent decade? Does this look, does he look like he's from the 70s? This is looking like modern.
This is, yeah, he's got all the modern accoutrements. In fact, although, like I said, the vehicle seems to be like the old shell. It looks like it's got the computer, it's got everything.
It's a fancy looking car.
Yeah. It's an old timey, kind of nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Passed on, through the, through the police officers here. It's just we call it the beater, I guess.
Looks pretty cool.
Well, thank you. We try to keep I tried to keep it up, just to honor my father. You know what I mean?
Your
Is that
friend's car wasn't looking so hot.
Is that who owned this car before you? Your father?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Is he still around?
No, no, he no, he wasn't around much, so to speak. Yeah, I didn't really even get to know him, but I got memories. That's all we can have, right? So, anyways, yeah,
Memories
you're
are
right.
important.
You're just if you go about a mile that way, you're at Willow Hills, and then you can just maybe get some gas or whatever you need, or turn around, or you got. I mean, you got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of cameras. Are you like film folk?
Podcast.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Uh, it's pretty niche.
Oh, try
It's
me.
it's it's mostly for, our friends. We're not really well known.
Oh, shame. I like listening to him. Got nothing else to do driving around here.
Um,
You
well,
sure
thank you.
you? And he looks at Sebastian at this point. I mean, y'all look kind of shaken.
Like I said, a few of us are really, really car sick.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
that someone is me. I can own that.
well, if you're sure I can't help.
We appreciate you
Well,
stopping though.
But yeah,
we do. We do. And if we have any other problems, we know exactly what number to call.
okay. Yeah, just I'm around town. Points to the car. Nobody else has one, so I'm easy to
Uh,
find.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheriff Brown. Officer Brown.
He tips his hat, gets back into the car. And starts heading out.
I like that one a lot better.
I don't particularly like either of them, but if I had to choose.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
What we
So,
did get from Officer Brown is that we are in Willow Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
We don't have to follow anyone.
you're on the
I
town
think
outskirts. From what he's saying.
And
And
it
if you look at the map, man, it just looks like where he kind of put his pen, just by chance. There seems to be like a really, it looks like a railroad symbol.
this is offensive to me personally. I'm sorry. Um, is there are there railroad tracks on either side of the road? Like we're on one side, there's no
We haven't
sign.
crossed
Like
any on the way in.
Nope. No, but you do remember that one of the reasons Willow Hills kind of stopped or started dying as a town was because the Adirondack Railroad pulled out. So
Mm-hmm.
the tracks are
Mm-hmm.
all still there. The equipment is probably still there, and that's where that tunnel where your friend supposedly disappeared is.
Well, we're definitely in the right area.
and
If the railroad's around here, then
we also
that's
know
what we're
we're in
looking
some
for.
kind of a loop.
mhm.
maybe,
One cop car comes, the same cop car comes just behind, and it's newer with a son who's full grown. And you would think that if they were currently in the same station and outfit, that they would have, I wouldn't say a better relationship, but he kind of made it sound like his dad hasn't been in his life for a while.
Sounded like his dad's dead.
I
Yeah.
mean, people's relationships with their parents are very complicated.
He also said that he was the only one with a car like that.
Yeah, that's the part that's sticking with me.
Mhm.
So I'm a little. Just that.
But at least you now have something for your podcast.
I have been recording.
Ooh, actually, question before we determine whether we're getting back in the car. Not excavating, that's a digging term. Exploring the woods. On if I were to review slash, I don't know. I picture I have one of those. I'm not gonna call this old fashioned. Oh my god, kill me. Like camcorder, obviously.
Mhm.
Nobody has those anymore, but whatever. That has the open flap. If I were to have one of those, and while talking to the officer, the first one, would what I saw appear on the camera?
Possibly. You want to review it?
Yes.
You play it back. You see the entire sequence go down, but the car is fine. The area is fine. Everything looks perfect and pristine. Very innocuous.
Is it the same like make model of car?
Hmm.
Is it
The
rusted?
only, yep, slightly
Mm,
like dinged up.
okay.
The
All
only
right.
thing that is odd is that there's static throughout, and you kind of quickly realize it's whenever he was talking to Brody.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything to anybody else. Just me.
From my from the preparation we did on the way in, would I have a sense of where that railroad tunnel and where the railroad would have gone through? Like, is it something we would have hit before we hit the town, after we hit the town? We have to go
It
through
would
town to get to it.
You would have to kind of uh, go off road or find the road, the old service road, just before the
Mm-hmm.
township itself.
Okay.
Basically, when everything collapsed, that side of town, uh, both of just people didn't go there anymore.
Yeah.
There was no reason to, and they wanted to build up the tourist trade.
Well, we should hit the service road for those tracks before we hit town. So do we want to hop back in the car and see about getting to that?
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, I don't see a downside. Either we reach that or we continue looping, in which case we're in the same situation.
Mhm.
If we keep looping, I'm going to suggest we turn around and try the other direction and see if it keeps us. But, yep, cool. So Ren will climb back in.
Okay. Can I get the order of who goes into the vehicle?
I feel like Sebastian and I would be first since we're in the back.
I think we might be, but I will say I think there's a moment where Sebastian pauses before the two of them get back in and just reaches over to lightly cup his hand against Iris's face and just asks, "How are you doing with all of this?"
I'm fine. Fine. Why would I be anything other than fine? You don't have to worry about me.
You know I'm always going to worry about you.
I do. And like I've always told you, maybe worry more about yourself for once.
And as I've
Iris,
always told you, I will keep that in mind.
as Sebastian kind of steps away, Iris, you maybe it's just the wind or the leaves. but there's this natural sound, almost like a voice. You'll watch him die, you know.
My jaw would tighten and every muscle in my face would tense as I gritted my teeth, and I am going to slightly look over my shoulder as if to look for where the voice came from and then get in the car.
It's a flash of just like white cloth, like somebody ducking back behind a tree about 100 yards away inside the forest. It might have been a figure. It might have just been a trick of the light.
Hmm. I know.
Inside the, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I know I want to go check it out, but I don't think Iris does. Um, so I really think that she's gonna continue to get in the car.
Okay. Brody, uh, car's running fine, no problems. Anastasia, everything seems to be in order. Ren, in the front seat, uh, is an old keychain, like one of those little figurines, stuffed figurines, keychains.
Uh-huh.
It's slightly stained, dark. You're not sure with what. Uh, maybe dirt, maybe something more organic. But you do remember it. It was your friend's. She always kept it in her car because you gave it to her.
Uh, hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, Ren?
Yeah.
Picking up the keychain by the metal bits. Assuming the like actual keychain part is still there.
In fact, there's a key on it.
Love. Is it a car key? Is it a house key? What kind of key? Is it a skeleton
It's,
key?
A
it's
diary
probably a
key.
it's probably a car key.
This wasn't in here when we left the car. And this was Sarah's.
Are you sure?
Yeah, she kept it with her all the time. This is probably her car key on it. The car she drove here before she disappeared.
Huh.
I gave her this keychain years ago.
What kind of
Is
car
on the
was
right
it?
track?
What kind of car did she drive?
It's a Honda.
Those aren't good for off-roading.
Really.
Well, we
Guess-
might. She might be part of the loop. Maybe she's one of the next cars to come through.
So we wait, or we drive slowly to the.
I
think we drive.
don't think we drive.
No?
This is all adding up to be way too weird to drive further. We've been in a loop, same trees, same arguments, same cop cars that are, going away, and then one new one comes back, and weird vibes. I wasn't going to say anything, when I was getting into the car, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I think with the keychain, we should maybe investigate the forest here. The cop did, X marks the spot on the map. We are in the vicinity of where we want to be. So maybe we keep adding those flags, just like Brody did at the start.
Move towards the direction of the tunnel? Just on foot?
At this point, I don't think we have another option. Cars are just getting us stuck in a loop, right?
I mean, it may have broken when the second sheriff came through.
Why don't we try and drive to the tunnel, and if that doesn't work, then
in
we
my
hit up the forest.
experience, once is a coincidence. Twice is a pattern.
I agree with the doctor. This is all too weird in this one specific spot.
I think those were our indications that we might be in the right area that we're looking for.
And we walk.
All right. You good for that, Brody?
Yep. I'll lock
Cool.
up the camper and I'll grab the bags.
Make sure I have everything.
Everybody, make sure you have your sunscreen and your bug spray and your water.
Yeah,
And your
Ren's gonna start bug spraying the shit out of themselves. Like, no ticks are getting anywhere near that skin.
Just don't light a
And
match.
then, yeah, and then offering, like, if anyone else wants bug spray.
Anastasia will also put bug spray on, just not as much.
A reasonable amount of bug spray.
Yes.
A reasonable amount.
Mhm. All right. So you make all your preps, and I'm assuming you're taking everything that you can carry normally.
Mhm.
The woods are waiting, watching, and very, very welcoming. It's only about 10, 20 feet of walking into the forest before the road. The campers sort of fade into the background. After 30 feet, you can't even see its shape. 40 feet in, 50 feet in. Light still penetrates here. It's not completely dark, but the green shadows are definitely deep. Who's leading the way?
I think Brody would with the map.
Ren's gonna stay up with Brody.
Okay. Then Brody's the first one to notice it. A very familiar scent. And it's a scent that you have tried to block out. It's that floral scent of jungle flowers.
Do you smell that?
Do I?
Do I?
Ren probably wouldn't recognize it, but Anastasia definitely would.
It does.
The fact that you two kind of, there's always life here, bird song, chattering. And here and there are birds that should not be here. They're thousands of miles away.
It definitely smells like giant water lilies, but those are indigenous to the Amazon, not upstate New York.
I remember that smell. That was that was from when I, you know.
Ren's gonna just like comforting hand on Brody's shoulder.
Thank you.
Are you continuing in?
Ren's gonna look back at Iris and Sebastian, see their reactions. This is this is not a Ren makes all the decisions. Ren is like everyone's in on this.
I think Sebastian is looking at Iris if he has noticed the smell and is just kind of exchanging a look with her in the moment you glance back.
I have a deep suspicion that the deja vu feeling slash uncomfortability, feeling of uncomfortableness, is growing the deeper they go towards the tunnel. So all resolve that she was able to maintain at the road is slowly being chipped away at, and there's definitely like a more uncertain feeling. I also don't know if she smelled this giant, was it water lily?
Yeah, they were giant water lilies.
Smell, but regardless, this feeling has definitely made her resolve less.
And Sebastian, just so you know, that weight that you felt in the vehicle, the closer you got to Willow Hills, deeper you get into the forest, the deeper you become closer to the mother, the more that weight lifts. In fact, if anything, you feel kind of buoyant. It's like you're coming closer to something that's very, very important to you. That deep, penetrative love, just kind of, and peace.
And I think in that case, in sharp contrast to Iris, like his shoulders have relaxed. He looks calmer than he has in a long time. And unlike Iris, he does not have any reservations about continuing, save for what he is seeing in her face.
Sorry, just doing a one quick check. And yes, Ren, yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay,
Your question.
thank you.
So if you continue through deeper into the forest, it starts getting, New York is muggy. It gets even more intense. This is a humidity that's, you know, jungle. Even though the trees aren't changing or the foliage isn't changing, it's just like the whole atmosphere is becoming heavier.
Now, does it feel like Amazonian humidity as we go farther in?
Yeah, in fact, you get this weird flashback. You were, and it's just out of nowhere. You remember sitting across from Matthias Cole, an anthropologist, on an expedition, who he was investigating a Cayman god, an unknown one, and was the two of you had just sat down to enjoy a meal and a talk, and there was just something about the heat, the oppressive heat, that you couldn't really concentrate on what he was saying. And you felt almost ashamed about that. And it's weird that you would have blocked that memory out. But there was just something about his face and the intensity of his eyes when he was talking about that God.
I think Anastasia kind of slows a little bit as she's trying to remember, and she gets this like thinking look on her face, like she's trying to think of something. But her rational brain is trying to give her reasons why she wasn't paying attention in that moment. And she just goes, everybody, it's getting super humid. Make sure you're hydrated.
Ren
We want to
will
make
take
sure
that
that our
reminder
brain,
and
we want to make sure our brain is functioning.
Thanks, Doc.
Brody, you keep pushing through. It starts getting thicker and heavier. And again, you're getting that almost claustrophobic feeling. Like back when you tripped, fell into a bush just by random chance, and it felt like it wrapped around you. And when you pulled yourself out of the weeds, you were somewhere else.
Looking
Two
around,
bushes.
does it look like I'm back there again? Does it look like I'm
It, yeah, the way the light is playing across the green, the way the trees are kind of crouching over you.
Is this a moment where enhanced awareness would come into play?
You can definitely try.
Let's see. Wish me luck. Nope, nope, nope. That's
We do have hero points.
that's a 4.
Oh
No. We
Five.
have 2
That's a
hero
5.
points.
We have hero.
We have
We
two-
have hero
please.
points.
Please use your hero
Please.
point. We have
Please,
2.
Brody.
use one.
And
Use
you
the
have
hero
3,
point.
Jason. You have
Do you
3
want
villain
to?
points.
Are you sure?
Yeah, use
Use
it.
it.
All right, I'll use a hero point. Rerolling.
All right. Okay.
Do I add my soul to this, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's much better. That's 14.
Oh,
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
dang it, I have to look at the page. Yeah, Brody. The trees start to shift. In fact, they're not just trees that should be here. They're trees like redwoods. There's coconut trees, palm trees. There's very thick bushes and heavy flowers. And the more that you keep on concentrating on the path ahead, the, the more these different type of foliage merge and just become even more and more alien. The rest of you notice this too.
Kind of beautiful.
In fact,
Weird.
Brody kind of has like this glow to him. It's like the way that the sun is hitting him. You can almost see like the spores from all the mushrooms and mold just kind of dancing around him.
Doctor, should we be breathing this in?
This glow, I don't know. That is not something I am familiar with. Let's go with no to be safe. Just
When
to
I-
be safe.
Looking through, like, again, as I am actively recording this, the open flap screen of the camcorder, does all of this register? Is this like,
What you're seeing on the camcorder and what you're seeing with your eyes are completely different.
I will absolutely share this with the rest of the group. Hey, this isn't adding up. Everything around us, what we're seeing and what's being recorded. It's totally different and out of character. What do I do if I cast the lens direction on Brody?
Brody looks like normal. He's not doing that glow thing.
Shared with the rest of you guys.
I'm gonna snap a photo that can see both Brody with the glow and Brody on the camera, and see if that shows, like, if it Brody looks the same on both on my phone camera.
On yours, no. Everything, anytime you use a piece of technology, it just looks like it you would expect. That Brody is standing in the middle of a forest.
And it looks like a New York forest.
And it looks like a New York forest. Brody, you can hear a river. You remember a river. And this low. You vaguely remember that as Cayman calling.
I think we're supposed to go this way.
Your feet kind of take you that direction, Brody.
I'll just start walking that way.
Anastasia follows him because they have spoken since she came back from the Amazon. And even though she doesn't remember, he's constantly telling her things that happened that she just doesn't remember. So now she's almost getting tunnel vision now at this point. And I'm wondering if this would trigger my my obsession, my disadvantage.
Oh, I suspect it would.
Not me wanting to roll bad stuff. 11.
Okay, so your obsession influences your behavior, and I'll take one hold. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, yes, you can feel that tug. And because it's like a splinter in your mind that you're close to something, you're close to remembering what the hell happened back then. Brody's definitely the key. For Iris and Sebastian, although you're not hearing the same Amazonian jungle sounds, you're definitely hearing this heavy nature song. And it's almost lulling you, calling to you. There's purpose here. It really depends on your perceptions, and both of you have your own purpose and connection to this. But it's there. So when Brody kind of punctures his way out through the trees into what can only be described as a scar on the land, it almost offends you. But before you is an old train track and train yard that has been left to rot over decades and decades of, even though nature has gained something of a foothold here, man has definitely wounded the earth in this place. And Ren, you're the first one to notice something modern there. That old Honda.
Ren's making a beeline for that Honda.
All right.
And like as they're doing that, going, that's it, that's your car. So they know that that's what Ren is doing and where Ren is going and what Ren is looking at.
So there's a tree and a car.
You've basically come out of the tree line, and now it's just like this huge open space where they built an old train yard, rusted tracks, and it looks like somebody has driven this car up an old service road, and it's just been sitting there, empty, as far as you can tell.
Does it look like it's been sitting there? Is it, does it have leaves on it and dirt and shit and like
Yeah, the windows are kind of grimy.
hmm
The wheels have kind of sunk because, there's been several rains. Just the
only
sheer
a
weight
few.
of it. Yeah.
Only a few rains.
I'm going to let Ren go to the car. I think that the feeling of something wrong happening here, the fact that man has paved over this area for their own gain, sits very poorly with me, even if I don't know the true meaning as to why I'm feeling this. I mean, I assume that I don't recognize it as for the deja vu sensation. And if they want to go and investigate, they can, but I am too disgusted by the feeling I am feeling.
Yes, similarly with Sebastian, I think there is a moment where he kneels down and he doesn't touch the train tracks because they're so important to him, but he just kind of kneels down and says, "This is wrong. This never should have happened."
Touches the ground. Something happened in this place. Something bad. Sorry.
I
You
don't think
Sorry.
Anastasia follows either. I think she is out loud, almost in a mutter, but like loud enough that people who are just like nearby can hear. She's going like backwards in time of any development that has been done in this area. And kind of so that she has a voiced record of it. And also so that she's remembering that she's forgotten stuff. And she's gonna end with like, so that the last thing she says is the first unnatural development that happened in the area.
Brody will definitely go with Ren to the car.
Thank you for not leaving me alone.
Brody is in it. He is in it.
I'm like, Ren, not seeing any of this shit. Not having any of these vibes. No idea. Just that's your friend's car.
Okay. Two things happen simultaneously. Sebastian, Iris, and Anastasia, because you're in the distance. You can see the arch of the train tunnel entering, the high peaks. It's like a black mouth in the mountain. Sebastian, you feel the loam beneath your fingers pulse and ripple and breathe as if it's taken in its first breath forever. As if you've stirred something here. And in that darkness, that absolute darkness of that mouth, suddenly there is a slit of white, like teeth smiling. As Ren and Brody reach the car, and the grimy interior seems to be empty, you just see a recently written in the dirt like somebody has run their finger. Help me. Help me, Ren. And that's where we'll take a break.
Okay.
So
Cool.
thank you, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to
Fuck
the
you,
last
Who.
transmission on the Lost Caravan RPG, where our 5 intrepid podcasters have, for whatever reason, obsession, curiosity, or just plain foolishness, have decided to investigate the mysteries of Willow Hills and find a missing friend and perhaps discover their pets. And when we last left them, 3 had just watched the mountains smile back at them. But we'll focus on Ren and Brody, who have just discovered the lost Honda of Ren's friend Sarah. With the letters, help me, Ren, written in the grime of the front window.
So, that writing, does it look more like Sarah's writing or like the writing on the notes that were appearing on my desk?
The writing on the desk. Kind of that frantic, almost childlike, shaky hand.
I'm going to be like not disturbing that writing in the other windows, trying to like get a look in before I try the key.
The inside of the vehicle looks like a vehicle that's been sitting out in the sun and a couple of New York winters for 2 years. On the front passenger seat seems to be a stack like of books and folders that have kind of spilt over. You can kind of see photographs and things like that, but you can't really tell through the grime.
Okay. Unlocking, like, gonna try that key in the door.
It opens almost immediately. And when you kind of pull the door open, it's like the car breathes out, like a sigh of relief. I've been found. In fact, you can almost smell her perfume.
I'm be real confused if it's the car that's been writing me these notes all this time. Taking a look at the like gonna quickly like flip through these papers to see if like I recognize anything, if anything matches my own research, if anything, like if I can see where the notes that I have from her like were in this stack possibly.
Yes, from a cursory glance, you can tell that it looks like the same kind of research that you and Anastasia have done. If you want to dig deeper, that might take a little longer, and that would be an investigate roll.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to that because I'm going to be, I want to look through the rest of the car that I can see, and then I want to go open the trunk.
Okay. I'm switching. Brody, are you doing anything before I switch?
Is there anything I can help you with in the car?
Do you want to take a look through these papers and see if there's anything that might be relevant that we don't already know?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm gonna check the trunk.
Okay, and I'm going to cut back to you two. Go to the other 3. The smile fades. The darkness returns, as if it had always been there. But you know that it isn't just darkness beyond that tunnel mouth. Anastasia, you remember that smile again when the mountain fell. That's the image, you remember the mountain falling on the camp. You were running, there was screams, people panicked, and the mountain just moving. When a mountain does not move, but it crawled, it snarled, it bit and thrashed like something animalistic, an entire mountain descending upon you, and then you're back on these train tracks. You don't want to go back to that moment. And now you can do a keep it together.
Yes, please.
please.
That. Yes, please. Willpower. Okay. I'm actually good at this.
What do your dice say, Dido?
11. My dice say 11 plus 2, which would be a 13.
The effort of resisting that memory kind of hits you. You don't want to go back into that mountain. So any time that you are forced to think back on being in the presence of a mountain, like the one in front of you, you'll be at -1. Because it just freaks you out. That mouth is, you remember that mouth.
So I think that memory, because it's probably the first time she's had it since she's been back, literally drops her on her ass. So you guys see this full-grown woman who usually keeps her shit together is on her butt just scrambling backwards towards the tree line away from this mountain.
So I'm going to assume you are scared.
Yes.
So
Yes.
-1. You take -1 stability.
Okay.
And how are the other two reacting to this?
It's definitely a surprise, like going from fine to not fine on your ass, like scooting away in seconds. Like what? It's absolutely going to take a few seconds for Iris to kind of figure out what exactly just might have happened to make her do this.
It doesn't take long because she is so used to dictating all of her actions and everything she sees around her that as she's scooting back, it's very panicked. She's very scared, but she's saying exactly like what she saw and what she's afraid that the mountain is going to do, which is going to crawl and it's going to fucking eat her again. Again.
Iris is going to be looking from trying to keep eyes on the other two at the car to Anastasia, to the car to Anastasia, and finally finishing and looking at Anastasia and being like, what are you talking about? Like, what is are you okay? Like, what's going on?
When I was in the Amazon, and I don't remember much, and I didn't remember this before, but there were mountains, and the mountains came alive and started swallowing people, and it grew legs and started moving. Mountains don't do that. They don't move. They are very well known for staying still.
That is very true, Anastasia. Just breathe. Nothing. We're okay right now. We are safe right now.
And this is something you saw in the Amazon. The mountains moved in the Amazon. This is not a story you heard from the people you might have been talking to. You saw.
No. This is definitely something I saw.
Because
I
you're
don't know
right.
why it's not in my notes. It's not in any of my notes.
Mountains don't move, Anastasia. You're right. You're positive this wasn't a story.
Or not a story, but something bad that happened, and this is what your mind has used to make sense of it.
Maybe. It definitely wasn't a story. And it definitely is not any. There was a conversation with Matthias. I don't remember it though.
At this point, I'm gonna motion to Sebastian, like, to help me offer one hand, like each side of Anastasia, to help her up, to get her back on her feet. Matthias, who is this? Matthias.
He's another archaeologist. He's my boss. He's the one who puts the expeditions out of the country together. We were searching some bones in a tribe in the Amazon.
Okay. Well,
And you're saying these memories have been coming back?
Slowly. Not. Brody's been trying really hard. Brody said he was there. I don't remember seeing Brody, but it was weird. I don't remember.
Brody said he was in the Amazon with you?
He said he saw me. He when I described the few vague flashes that I have, he remembers them vividly. And I can't.
Maybe
I don't know why.
Maybe he can fill in the blanks. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me as to why he was there with you. He's not in the same profession. He wouldn't have been on the same excavation as you.
Unless he came to visit.
He wasn't. He wasn't there with me. He didn't come at all. We actually had lost touch for many years until I came back, and he sought me out.
I think we should definitely pull him into this conversation. Then there may be parts that he knows that we don't. Because I'm not sure how to help you fill in the blanks here.
I can go get Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're standing by the car. And we can...
I will help walk Anastasia towards the car, following Sebastian.
The camera kind of moves back to Brody and Ren. Brody, yeah, it looks very much like the stuff that Anastasia has collected. If you want to take a deeper look, you can do an investigate roll.
Alrighty. That's an 11.
11? You can ask one question, which is how, and if you don't have it in front of you, it's how can I find out more about what I'm investigating? What are my gut feelings about what I'm investigating? Is there something weird about what I'm investigating? And this will come at a cost.
What are my gut feelings?
Almost instinctually, then, you push through the various photographs and, articles and books where they've got the little note, the little note keepers. You suspect that nobody else would see these patterns, but you keep on seeing pieces of this nature where something called the mother tree and the veins of the earth. And you keep on seeing bits like in Siberia, northern Canada, southern United States, the Amazon, all seem to have that same kind of imagery about a tree goddess. And it's obvious that Sarah has made the same connection. And that resonates with you. That literally, when the mother calls, she can bring you into herself from anywhere on the planet, because everywhere on the planet is her. But the most common way of reaching her heart is through the veins of the earth.
I'm gonna share this with Ren.
Ren pops the trunk. You get a very weird human smell instantly because it's been trapped in there. They're unlike in the front, which was kind of more books and newspapers and normal stuff for an investigator. In the back are all these boxes with candles, incense, bottles with some kind of liquids in them, various colors. There is a very weirdly shaped dagger. And the human smell you're beginning to guess is maybe those candles are human fat.
Does any of this match like research that I've done, things I've seen, like cult-wise, any of that?
I'm going to give it to you since you're the seeker. Yes, these seems to be highly ritualistic items.
Okay.
Not of any specific, theology, but there's obviously some kind of spirituality here, like a very deep, dark purpose.
Okay. That's interesting. Is this about the point where Brody is getting my pen?
Mm-hmm. And you can also see the other three slowly approaching.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take much to realize Anastasia is like just the is pale, like she's had a shock.
Shit, what happened? Focus shifting.
Everything's okay. Everything's okay. And Anastasia was just reminded of something. And it was very shocking to her.
See that? Are you okay?
Brody, you've been trying to get me to remember things for a while now.
Yeah.
Do you remember the mountains?
DM, would I remember the mountain?
Oh yeah. You don't want to, but you remember it moving. When all of that darkness went down, it was like it wasn't a collapse. It was like the mountain's back rippled like a giant beast slowly shifting or crouching and encroaching upon the camp. You kind of remember the camp too. You weren't there very long. I mean, all you remember is the screams.
I would look to Anastasia and say, yeah, I remember the mountain.
It
Are you
moved, right?
It was alive. It moved, it breathed, it ate.
I remember the eating. I don't want to remember the eating.
I'm sorry, cousin. I think I may have found a connection.
Please let me focus on something else.
And I'll bring up the research and say everything seems to be pointing towards these veins and the mother. I remember I was to be sacrificed, and I'll look to Sebastian and say, I remember a lot of things about that night.
Did you want to keep it together, Sebastian? Just
I would love to.
Did I cause that? Uh-oh.
Is it me, Jesus?
That is a 16.
Yeah, you steal yourself right through it. You can be completely deadpan and lie through your teeth if you want to.
Beautiful. I think all Sebastian says is, it sounds like you've been able to share a lot with your cousin.
Yes, well, all signs point to the mother. What if the mountain is the mother? And I'll show them the
Immediately
research.
looking over at the mountain.
Let's hope the mountain's not the mother.
Yeah. As I was telling Brody, it kind of looks. It keeps on pointing towards like tree worship, and mountain worship, nature worship. What keeps coming up again and again is something called the Enwildened. The Enwildened God. And the black tree. That's roots aren't just wood, but stone and loam and air. It is connected to everything. Now, New Agers would probably say that's the kind of the Gaia philosophy. But this is much, much darker. This is the primordial nature. The one that doesn't care that you're on its back. It will wipe you away without thinking.
This is her research. And I'll point to the words that are like written on the window and go, that's not her handwriting either.
Ren,
It
can you roll keep it together when you look at the lettering?
I finally got one?
Yes.
Am I the last one to get one? Okay.
Congratulations! Don't fail it.
Keep it together is a what roll?
Willpower.
Willpower. Well.
12? Okay. You're a little shocked. And when you have to deal with things that might relate to Sarah, you will be at -1 to those rolls. You will also take
Gotcha.
-1 stability depending on your reaction.
Gotcha.
Godspeed.
There are more words there.
Wait, hold on.
Fuck.
Mother speed. There we go.
Gaia speed.
Gaia speed.
Help me now. I'm in the earth.
It didn't say that last part earlier. And that matches the notes that I've been getting.
But you don't think it's your friend?
It's not what her handwriting was. Look at the notes. It's not the same. I don't know.
Whoever wants to read the notes can do and assess this. Observe a situation.
I'll read the notes.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'll pull one of the notes that I've been getting, like the not Sarah's notes, but the others, out of my bag. Probably the most
And this will
recent one
just
that
be
pointed us to Willow Hills.
this will be a very specific one. So if you roll perception, just tell me what your result is. Did anyone?
Yes.
Do I need to, or since you gave it to me earlier?
You're kind of freaked out, so you might not. This might escape you.
16.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
You definitely notice the trend, it's like somebody's slowly losing their mind. The writing becomes more and more frantic throughout the notes, even though you kind of get a chronology to it. You can put it all together. Yeah, it's probably the same handwriting. It's just that whoever is at the end of this has definitely lost their marbles,
I
becoming more and more childish.
I wasn't as close to Sarah as you were. This looks like it might have been her handwriting, but whatever's at the end of this, I don't think there's much of Sarah left.
I'm looking between the words on the door, like on the window, and the tunnel. Just kind of glancing between them.
Somebody standing in the mouth of the tunnel. And,
Can I tell
and
anything about
it's a female figure dressed in white, like an old Quaker or Victorian dress. And then they just step into the dark, and the dark swallows them up.
How many of us
Could
see
have
that?
swore they were reaching for you, like a
they were reaching before they stepped
like they were just
back?
going, just trying to reach. I know nobody else saw that.
There's someone there.
Where?
I just saw someone in the mouth of the tunnel. It's a woman, white dress, like old style, like old white dress, long.
Like a shift dress, or was it like?
Yeah, I mean, it was
like they were in their
Victorian
underwear.
Quaker, like maybe I don't know enough about historical dress, but she's like reaching, and then she just stepped back in.
So, is that our next cue to follow?
Does this tunnel go into the mountain?
Oh yeah, probably. It shouldn't be too long. I mean, it's just like your standard rail tunnel, more for convenience than anything.
Did you
gonna
recognize
like
this person?
Did I at all, or is it too far away?
Too far away.
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Do we really want to just follow somebody into a tunnel and to a mountain that eats people?
We don't know if it eats people. We don't have any other leads to where Sarah went, and that's what we're investigating, right? Her trail ends here, and
her trail ends here, and this writing on the window.
I mean, I don't like the sound of it either, Doctor.
May I try something on the other window that's dirty?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write tunnel ?
Okay.
Smart thinking.
A slow underline draws across under.
You just hear a fuck.
I'm sorry,
like under
everyone.
the breath, fuck.
Well, we have our answer.
Oh.
And if someone's in danger, we should be doing something.
Can I use enhanced awareness?
You can.
That's a tone.
Do you want to?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's a one-shot. Let's do it.
All right.
Gonna use enhanced awareness.
What did you roll? Oh God.
Oh, no.
Do we have hero points still?
We do.
Yes,
We have one
we
more.
do.
Please. Please.
Okay.
Yes, use it.
Because we also still have 3 villain points.
I say as we have one left, and also we have not gone into the mountain. But hey, chat, what's up? You want to be nice? You want to give a hero point?
Okay, that is much better. That is a 13.
13. Okay. Sorry, looking at your character sheet. You get some basic impressions of the region. Again,
Yeah.
much like when Brody was leading you, and again, this is for everybody, that heaviness of nature just kind of presses down on you. You can kind of feel the mud around your feet. The air is thick. You can smell floral scents, animal scents, musk. The mountain seems larger and getting larger still. The trees seem more verdant and tall, as if in that railroad area actually seems to fade, as if fog is kind of going over it, as if something is desperate to erase it. And then it comes back. The railroads aren't just metal, they're intestinal. You can see the quivering pulse in the black flesh. The different rusted out buildings seem to be skeletal, like something has been flayed and left in the sun for too long. It is a scar that is trying to eat away at the mother itself. And then you're back in the train yard.
I'm definitely like hands on the car, bracing myself through that because that's a thing. That was a moment.
And just for the record, Iris and Sebastian, that's almost more intense for you. The more you kind of feel this intrinsic hatred towards that rail yard and the buildings. They're an affront to you. And Iris, you hear that voice again. He needs to die for you. Let him die.
No. I will answer out loud this time. It is a firm no.
No what?
No what?
Iris.
I mean, I didn't like that either, but
The realization that she said something out loud hits her, and she shakes her head, and just the answer is in there. Whatever has been upset, whatever we have to do is through that tunnel. I know, Doctor, that you have had a poor experience with mountains in your travels and your research. But if we want to solve this mystery for Susan, Sarah, not Susan, that's my roommate. We have to go in the mountain. Susan is my roommate. We are finding Sarah.
Anastasia's having conflicting feelings. She is scared, but she's not mortified. But she also wants more answers. I kind of want to roll her disadvantage to see what is driving her need to go in the mountain.
Okay.
Is it emotion or is it intellect?
Go for it.
11.
Your obsession continues to influence your behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grab a hold.
Almost like as soon as Iris stops saying like that's where the answers are, that's where we need to go, you can see she's still pale, she's sallow, but her feet, they don't look like steps. It's almost like she's not even walking, but the ground under her is moving her towards the tunnel of the mountain.
And Anastasia, you do notice something like a itching under your skin. You can't see it because you've got the outfit on. But it's like something worming its
My
way.
arms are bare. It's just like a
Then you kind of see green lines kind of rippling under the skin.
I don't think she says anything because she's afraid of what she's seeing.
And it's almost like being like a puppet on a string. It's like they're tugging you towards
But she is
the mountain.
scratching at them as she's moving.
As Anastasia walks forward, I would absolutely be following, but following Anastasia, not into like not the side, but behind, following the lead, and making sure Sebastian is behind me at all times.
Okay.
What if Sebastian is walking beside you?
Hey, I'll be one step ahead of you. Then you can't fight me.
Iris said behind.
I said behind me.
Good sir. Sebastian will be behind.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not put this on my house, thank you.
Question: all of that like ritual and occult stuff that was in the back,
Mhm.
was that in a case that I could just take with me? Was that just like laid out?
Cardboard boxes, you could actually kind of put it together.
Good question.
Have we lost Dido? Oh no.
I'm
Another
here.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Another question, and this may require a roll. Did it look like anything was missing?
Yes, that you can definitely tell right away.
Do I have a sense of what was missing from my own knowledge of?
Podcasting.
It looked, yeah, I mean, you could do an assess the situation or observe a situation.
Observe the situation. Okay. Perception. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. That's a 16.
Okay. From this point forward, you get +1 on all your rolls when dealing with like these ritual items or using them. You can also ask 2 questions.
Okay. Looking to. Does it have to be the questions listed?
I'm very flexible.
Okay. I'm going to call. I get 2 questions. I'm going to call. One of them is what is being hidden from me, as in like what's missing. Is how I'm aiming to use that question. And the other one is what can I use to my advantage?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What's being hidden from me, as in like what's missing, and what can I use to my advantage?
The things that are missing are definitely things like it looks like somebody has actually created their own ritual kit,
Mm-hmm.
maybe for some kind of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, what was the second question?
What can I use to my advantage?
Everything here. You
Okay.
you kind of grab an idea of what these items are, and you
Mm-hmm.
might be able to use them. You've had enough. You've studied enough. You could probably create a nice ritual out of this. Maybe a protection
I'm
ritual.
just shoving as much as I can in my bag.
Okay.
Since it seems like we're already moving and don't have time to do one now. Unless I do have time to do one now, which I would love to do.
I mean, you can try if you want to start something right now.
How long would it take? Is this something I could do before Anastasia gets to the top?
It depends on what you're trying to do.
Protection.
You could do a minor charm
Okay.
in like 10, 15 minutes.
Is it going to take 10, 15 minutes for Anastasia to get to the tunnel? No. Yeah, shoving it all in the bag. It's all coming with me. At least as much as I can fit.
Okay. As you get closer to the tunnel itself, that darkness is not receding. It's almost like a wall. There's the natural and unnatural pieces of it. But that darkness is something else. It's almost Stygian. Like you could probably, almost liquid, you could probably touch it. And to all of you, it makes no sense. If that tunnel is like 150 feet long, which is your typical train tunnel, you should be able to see at least some kind of daylight on the other side.
Can I pull out one of my lights and shine it in there?
Mm-hmm.
See if it has an effect.
Almost instantly, it's like you're intruding on this place. You can now see the tunnel beyond, the train tracks leading off, pieces of old equipment kind of against the wayside and the gravel. There's roots hanging down from the roof. So it's definitely been here for a while.
Mm-hmm. And if I bring the light back down, we go back to liquid black.
Pure black.
I don't like that. Does everybody hear that? Or is it just me?
Just, yeah, something echoes from beyond.
Sarah?
Being up front, can
Silence.
I tell from what direction? Is it like just farther down the tunnel? Is it coming from
Yeah.
like an offshoot?
It sounds really distant. Again, which is weird.
And mind you, Anastasia has not turned on a light, but is still moving.
The darkness kind of accepts you. And it takes a few seconds for your eyes to adjust, which instantly gets ruined by Ren.
I was like, if she disappears into the darkness, I'm immediately flashing it to see if she's still there.
Yes.
Or if she's disappeared.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, there goes the dark vision.
Sorry.
I didn't bring my pirate patch. Fun fact, that's what pirates use their patch for.
Mhm.
so that they can always have dark vision. So when it turns nighttime, they just switch the patch to the other eye and they can see in the darkness.
This is
It'd be a
fascinating
left
news. I also would have been like trying to shield my eyes from the light because I was pretty close behind Anastasia and following in.
And anyone else?
Sebastian follows as well.
Iris and Sebastian, the moment you step beyond the boundary, it is like coming home.
In the good
You-
way or the bad way?
Depends
Welcome
on how much you
home.
like your home. You feel the strata just pushing down on you, as if like a mother's arms cradling you and holding you tight, making you feel like you're loved, needed, and most importantly, accepted. Brody, are you still outside?
Yeah, I think Brody's gonna bring up the rear on this one. Make sure nothing's following them. Hopefully.
Ren's
And
not quite ready to step in yet.
Okay.
if Brody sees that, I'd turn to them and be like, "It's now or never."
That is the most ominous thing you have ever said.
Sorry, let me try that again. It's now or never. Nope, not any better.
Nope.
Sorry.
Still, I'm so glad I got that on recording. If we survive this, this is going to be the best podcast ever, and we're going to be famous. I'm going to offer Birdie my hand.
Take the hand.
All right.
Okay.
Go in together.
We got this.
You step deeper into the tunnel, and again, you get that feeling of accepting you, but not the same as Iris and Sebastian. This is more like, oh, I'm aware of you now. Welcome inside me. The light from outside, maybe a cloud passes by or something, but the light coming from the mouth of the tunnel just goes gray, gloomy, and then is gone. Deeper inside, Anastasia, you got that. You feel the humidity rising for some reason. It's warm in here where it should be cool. There's water dripping from the ceiling. It smells like swamp, like old rivers. In the distance, with Ren's light behind you now, you do see lights. Very small pinpricks off in the dark near the floor. One, no, two, no, four, six, maybe a dozen or 2 dozen little pinpricks of light off in the dark.
I think she finally stops for a second and doesn't look back. But when she kind of feels, like in humidity, you can kind of feel when somebody else is close. So once she has that feeling of Iris and Sebastian behind her, she just goes, "Do you guys see the lights as well?"
Mm-hmm. And then they flicker. No, that's not right. That's not flickering. They're just going out. Here, there. No, it's not going out. They're blinking. It's at this
I-
point that Anastasia has a very distinct memory of standing beside the Amazonian River at night, looking out and seeing the caiman looking back. Because their eyes do this very strange golden glow in moonlight.
That's what we're looking for.
I thought we were looking for a person, Anastasia.
What
I don't think we are.
What are you referencing?
When I was in the Amazon, one thing I do remember are eyes in the dark. I attribute it to bats, monkeys, something normal. But now, Matthias mentioned Cayman gods right after that happened. We had a long discussion. I don't really remember the whole of the discussion, but it was right after I saw the eyes across the river. And then I don't remember much, but after that, the mountain ate the tribe. It came alive. And it ate and destroyed everything that wasn't natural.
I don't like the sound of that.
And just so you know, the itching is getting more and more intense.
And she is scratching. Like almost like she's got like mosquito bites all up her arms.
How much light do Iris and Sebastian have?
None.
Since they're
None.
right beside.
We just walked in.
Oh wow, that was really on cue right there. We both said none. Same time. None.
Yeah, you can't see what Anastasia's scratching at. But Anastasia, your fingers catch on things. Almost silk. Some are silken, some are tough, membranous.
Like vines?
Like flowers.
Odd question. And she does cough before she says odd question. And do I smell different?
Mm-hmm. Very floral. In fact.
Now that you mention it, what's happening?
Sebastian, that smell is almost alluring. You kind of remember this back when the mother showed you her true self and stripped away the illusion, gave you a glimpse of what lay beyond the veil, of what gods and monsters can truly be. All it takes is a little sacrifice.
I think in this moment, Sebastian is so conflicted because he has spent so much time trying to distance himself from exactly this. And yet, in this moment, remembering what he saw, thinking about the train yard and the railway and the blight of that against nature and how angry and disgusted he still feels. He's staring at Anastasia. But he reaches for Iris's hand and very quietly says, "We need to do what we were meant to do."
No. Absolutely not. There is a way. There is a way. This is not the answer. Whatever it is it's telling you, whatever it is you're feeling, no, this is only the beginning.
I agree, this is only the beginning.
So let's not jump to conclusions.
As you wish, Iris.
And at that point, I'll look to Anastasia and I will let her keep going into the mountain.
Anastasia's scratching has switched to more of like a petting now that the growths have started.
That feels more pleasant, as if it senses that you're not fighting it as much.
Still scared. Still have no idea what's going on. But it's more unnatural to resist. And that seems to be their enemy.
You, as you pet it, you kind of feel the white petals that have emerged from your skin and just like little blossoms here and there. It's bloodless, it's painless, it's just there's a foreign body trying to awaken. And that's just not natural for flesh. In the back, Brody and Ren feel a wash of stagnant water go over their feet.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, I'm flashing the light down at my feet.
Like you've almost like the beginnings of a flash flood, as if the tunnel's beginning to fill.
Are we farther in now than
They're still, you can kind of see their shapes up ahead, but unless there was like a major torrent behind you, it makes no sense for the water to be rising. And
I have
again, you
a
hear that, Brody, you recognize that mm, mm, mm sound calling from the sides of the tunnel, where the sides of the tunnel should be. But there's more of those glowing eyes, like you're standing in the middle of a river. And the train tracks, that gravel is literally the only solid ground now.
Is that what we see when I shine a
Yeah,
light at our feet?
you you flash the light. There's water around your feet. You flash the light to the side. The sides of the tunnel are now gone.
I flash the light behind and look behind. Is the entrance to the tunnel gone?
You see vague shapes like a shoreline, maybe like reeds and such.
like this might have been a mistake.
And something slowly rising from the water behind
Do you
you.
see that?
What do you do?
Brody, do you see that?
It looks like weeds and grass at first, and that's when you recognize that it's hair. Because the woman's
We're about to
face
be eaten by Swamp Thing. Like,
the woman's face starts coming into shape. She's still distant enough that you can't really make it out. But Ren, you've seen Sarah in the dark. You kind of recognize that shape. Ren, have you come? Have you come to help?
Sarah?
Correct. It's me, Ren. You did come. You came to help. It hurts here. It really, really hurts. Are you flashing the light on her face?
I mean, I haven't, I'm focused on her, so wherever I'm focused on, the light is going that direction, because I am not consciously moving the light anymore.
You're not really sure how she's speaking. Because something has taken her jaw and torn it away. The tongue dangles down like a loose flap. The eyes are gone, and weeds and grass and vines are growing out like blossoms. It really hurts here, Sarah. But it'll be better now. Ren, it'll be better now that you're here. It'll be better now that you're here. I'm tired of being alone.
Ah, fuck.
And what do you do?
Still holding Brody's hand, unless he's taken it away.
No.
And probably squeezing quite tightly at this point.
GM, is this a
Brody?
dangerous situation?
Define dangerous.
Well, I happen to have a move that I can do whenever entering a dangerous situation.
Yes, I will allow it.
I would consider this whole episode a dangerous situation.
It's Daredevil, so
All right.
oh, not too bad. I'm bad at math. 13 plus perception. That's a 15.
All right.
Ooh.
Sorry, which page is? Do you remember which page it's on? Or did you mark it
Daredevil.
down?
In the player's guide, it's 76, I think.
Perfect. What is it? I think what can you do with it?
Whenever entering a dangerous situation, I can choose 3 edges. Keep your eyes open, discover a threat before it discovers you, get out of the way, avoid an attack, or get the jump on them, harm your opponent before they can react.
Perfect. So yeah, you get 3 edge. So you can do any of those. My apologies.
I would like to start with the keep your eyes open and see if there's any other threat besides the very obvious one in front of us.
The other than the fact that, and I'll give it to you for free, you're starting to realize that, like I said, the walls of the tunnel are gone. The roof is not. You kind of get the sensation of something very organic glistening, translucent. There's veins and glass and maybe wood. And it just keeps on undulating to some unknown heartbeat.
Today's game brought to you by the word undulating.
I love that word.
Dado, you're
we had a door in Strahd that undulated, and that door did not last very long. But then undulate became the word of like the next 3 sessions.
Yeah.
So Sarah starts slowly pulling herself out of the mud.
Ren is backing up and is just this is wrong. This is not right. This is wrong. Something's wrong. This is very wrong.
Don't you want me with you again?
Only if you're coming home.
That, again, you're just kind of hypnotized by the way that tongue just kind of slaps against the net.
The way that tongue slaps.
Only if you're coming home with me. I'm not. I don't want to stay here.
We are home now, Ren.
Home is where my teddy bear lives. That ain't here.
Do you want to keep it together, Ren?
I'm gonna try.
Please don't blow.
Let's see. It's keep it together is willpower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fort.
Okay. You're at -1 whenever dealing with Sarah, so that kind of cancels it out.
Yeah.
And -1
so
stability. I'm going to assume that you're scared at this point.
No.
Okay.
Yes, quite scared. Rather terrified, actually.
So the two of you backing away, or
Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of like lean into Ren and be like, you said that you don't like guns, but I did bring a gun.
You're a smart man, Brady.
I'm gonna pull out my handgun and I'm just going to suggest to the remainder of Sarah to back away and leave us alone.
she looks at you, and I use that loosely because she has no eyes.
Her flower stalks.
Don't keep her from me. She's been moving slow and languid for the last few for the last few seconds. And then it's like a scuttling lizard just at you.
I fire.
Engage in violence.
Ooh, I'm actually not very good at this. This is not going to go well.
That's why I didn't bring a gun.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Do we have any more hero points?
That's a 5, but I have a -2 in engage in combat, so that's.
Hey chat! Hey chat! Chat!
No chat.
We have one hero point.
We have one. But consider, we might need it later.
We might need it later.
But we might need it now. But chat.
Wait.
I'll let it ride. I'll let it ride.
Keenan coming in clutch.
Okay. Go for it. I hope you roll higher.
I hope so too. Oh, a 10.
Okay.
No.
Most, if of her right cheek, just ceases to exist, and her head snaps back like it's been kicked. The body falls into the water with a splash. You instinctively try to pull again, like the trigger again, and you hear it. It's already jammed. Maybe with the water or just the humidity or something has basically screwed up your gun.
Now we run. Now we run.
Running. Absolutely running.
Everybody, the other three, while you're looking off into the distance, the entire tunnel just suddenly is a deafening boom as a gun goes off. And you see the other two running up the track towards you.
With the light
Now
in one hand.
Now, in case you didn't catch it, they're running uphill. It used to be flat. Somehow, the tunnel is kind of arced up. Like you're kind of coming up onto an island. And behind them, you can kind of see the water slowly rising, eating away at this island. The gravel and mud just kind of crumbling. Something screams behind them, and you see this scuttling, weird, broken thing continuing after them. It doesn't have a face. Or if that's a face, it's nothing human.
That's pretty freaky, and the sound of the gunshot absolutely caught my attention, but I'm pretty sure the partially faceless creature does so more as soon as I turn around. And I definitely stumble a few feet backwards in the direction that Anastasia is. But I make sure to reach my arm out to make sure Sebastian is stumbling back with me, because I'm not gonna leave him alone.
Sebastian is 100% holding on to you.
You stumble back, and the ground, Anastasia, beneath your feet kind of turns from gravel and wood and metal of a train track into something more organic. It's like mud, and filled with roots. And yeah, you remember slogging through the jungle before.
Well, first there's the oof of having two bodies slam into her. But because she had also turned, you don't run into her back, which should be plush because she has a backpack. But when Iris hits her, it feels solid but soft. Like falling into a field of flowers. With the oof, I don't know what they pissed off. We need to keep going. Fast.
I agree.
Swamp rises. When the swamp rises, it can rise up to 15 feet. We need to get to high ground and pray it doesn't rain. At this point, like, she thinks she's in the Amazon right now. Like, the railroad, the tunnel, the mountain has all disappeared for her. She thinks she is in the Amazon right now.
I look to Sebastian for like some kind of confirmation of what I just heard, because what I just heard doesn't make sense. We're in a mountain. Like, how can it rain? How can swamps rise? But at this moment, what else makes sense except to follow the person who's been leading us here the whole time?
And Sebastian very much is saying that, of course, yes, we need to get to higher ground.
You start heading up. The mud becomes more firm. There's more. Again, you're operating almost in complete darkness. You can feel bushes and high grass around you. There seems to be a worn down path. And in the distance, you see orange lights. Yeah, torchlight. Maybe lamps. A mixture of the two. The other two, because they're running, quick, catch right up to you.
I'm going. I'm just keeping going. There's not stopping.
It's at that point, Ren, you slip, and the ritual items in the box go scattering everywhere, disappearing into the mud, in the grass, in the dark. And you hear that weird croaking, hissing of Sarah behind you, just inches from your feet.
I'm scrambling and trying to get out. Like, fuck the
You could
ritual
help.
items at this point. Just go.
Brody can definitely help if you wish, because you feel that presence beside you falling.
I'll help.
You yank Ren up, and the two of you find high ground. Behind you, the water rises and stops. And you kind of see just the top of Sarah's head, just there in the water, floating as if it can't get closer.
That
Those would be the Caymans.
that was Sarah.
What do you mean that was?
That was
Emphasis
Sarah.
on the was.
What he said. That was a very not Sarah. No longer Sarah.
What does?
Oh, and now that Ren's light is nearby, you kind of see like these white blossoms have emerged out of Anastasia's arms.
Not you two.
What
Oh
the
no, we're moving. Ren's going. Ren sees more like plans coming out of people after Sarah. Nope, we're done. We're done.
What's wrong?
Nothing, Anastasia. Everything's fine.
What do you mean?
Look at your arm.
Look at
Look at your
her arms.
I
She
am
looked at
seeing
arms.
her arms.
Yeah, they look like arms. What's?
There are plants growing out of you. There were plants growing out of Sarah. Brody, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Mind you, Anastasia totally sees the plants, but she's pretending that she doesn't.
And for Iris
Ren?
and Sebastian,
Ren, go.
Sebastian has probably seen this before. Iris may or may not have seen this before. But yeah, this is the blessing of the mother. A
And I think
return to the mother.
and I think that is exactly what Sebastian is going to say to Iris and like just pull her aside and say she's been blessed. You know what that means.
Right. Yeah. She's been blessed.
Sebastian. Irises are glowing. Golden. Cayman gold.
She's been blessed, and you have never looked so beautiful.
I know what you mean by saying that, and I wish I could take it as a compliment. And I do. But as long as it's just her and not you, that's all that matters.
Of course it's her. That's why we're here. We have to fix what I ruined. We need to do this for... We need to do this for everyone who is deserving.
You're right. We have to do this. And I offer him my hand.
And he takes it.
And we will follow Anastasia to whatever she's leading us to.
Do we not?
No, as a little treat. As a little treat. Can we see?
Maybe it's a broken memory or just a misremembered memory, but the camp from the Amazon is up ahead. You recognize the lights. Some are maybe in a wrong spot, or there's a tent placed at the wrong angle. And what may be even weirder is that there's pieces of your other life from before the Amazon. You see a house where you grew up, kind of half lying out of the mud. The angles here are wrong, but that ever-present strutter that's pressing down just keeps on weighing on your shoulders. You're far beneath the earth. Far, probably farther than the rock itself. This is something more, shall we say, yeah, intestinal, vein-like.
We're close to the underbelly.
The rest of you start to notice figures kind of surrounding the camp. And the closer you get where between Ren's light and the torchlight, they look like people, but it looks like they've kind of grown out of the ground. Or maybe they've grown into the ground. So whether they've been birthed or if returned, it's kind of hard to tell. Between the green and the flowers and the white slashes of bone, they were human once. Or maybe they always were. Maybe this is what's right. What do you guys do?
Is this everybody sees this?
Everyone.
Ren would like to get the fuck out.
Iris, take a picture of the bones. Tell me what you see.
If I don't, and I tell Anastasia what she wants to hear. That is what I want to do, honestly. I want to not and just say exactly what Anastasia sees.
So if you're lying, does Anastasia want to read a person?
Yes. Because I don't think Iris knows what the answer Anastasia wants.
Okay.
I am not good at reading people.
Yeah, that's intuition.
It's just a straight roll. Oh, but I'm only on easy, so we're okay.
You do have 3 villains points. I just want to remind
do you want me to?
Oh, no.
Would you like me to roll d8s? I will roll d8s.
Any chance to not use them on me?
It's a 14.
14. Okay. You may ask one question.
Are you lying?
Yeah. What?
That's the first question on the list.
Right
Are
to the
you
point.
lying?
To that, I will respond, what is the truth?
Did you take the picture?
Can I lie again and say yes?
Still no. But here's the thing, Iris. Did you take the picture?
No.
Okay. By the way, your fingers are slightly burning. You notice that the batteries have begun to bleed acid. It's almost as if the camera itself is beginning to rot.
I dropped the camera immediately. Not important to me anymore.
In fact, as she does, you begin to notice a lot of your technology is beginning to decay. Not just rust, not just crack, like physically, organically rot.
Anastasia, does her so she's got a voice recorder hanging around her neck. It's doing the same thing?
Oddly, no. If anything, it seems to be like a beacon here. Because to Anastasia, that's almost like a talisman. Like what she's been feeding her soul into.
How's Ren?
Nope, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, how's Ren's light doing?
It's kind of flickering.
Great. Great. Lovely. Love it.
But at least you have the torchlight. Yeah, Brody, you remember this camp as well. You stumbled into it just before the mountain fell. And Sebastian, you know this one perfectly well.
I turn to Ren and I'm like, I thought I wanted to come back, but I don't. We got this is where I am. We
Going.
we have to go.
Yeah, like we can't go back, so it's only forward. So, fuck all the rest, y'all. Bye.
I would like to do a dumb thing.
Please do.
And at this point, I would like to try to see through the illusion. Especially centered around these bones. This can go very badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
It's a 13, but do I still have the -1 because we're technically in the mountain?
Not for this.
Okay, so that would be a 13.
Then you see reality, but you're also affected by the illusion itself. And because you're so close to Gaia right now, the illusion itself tears completely and utterly. The people around you, because they were people once, they're what's left of those people who died when the mountain fell and regurgitated them. They're still alive, so to speak. You can see their faces writhing in agony. They're more formed now because the illusion has been stripped away. So you see what's left of them, their true humanity, slowly being consumed once more into the earth itself. They reach out to you, begging. Their language is gone. Most of their intelligence is gone, but they sense some kind of kinship. Some beg for you to stay, some beg for you to release them, some just basically moan and scream and beg for death. But now they're free. You've at least freed them temporarily. And all the figures begin moving. What's everyone doing?
We shouldn't be here. This should be a grove of willows, not. Are we actually in the Amazon?
Anastasia, I think we're right where we're supposed to be.
All of you hear a rhythmic pounding. To Sebastian, Iris, and to some degree Anastasia, it feels abhorrent. It's mechanical. It's that invasion of another world, or the human world, the true human world, penetrating deep into this heart, creating a tumorous sound. To Brody and Ren, that mechanical pounding is like a lighthouse to you. It's like a beckoning.
I'm running.
Yeah, no, like as fast as I can, and I have that parkour advantage.
Iris, Sebastian, and Anastasia, we'll focus on you. What would you like to do? Because I'm sensing hard choices coming up.
See, I think you are muted.
You would be correct. How many people are in my vicinity?
Just Anastasia and Sebastian. Because Ren and Brody are running like hell. Those
Okay.
other
From hell.
bodies, yeah, there's about 20 bodies that seem to be slowly crawling towards you. The remnants of this camp. But they don't seem to be angry or menacing. They actually seem to be more reverent right now.
Okay. If I command them, I would like to command them towards everyone but Sebastian.
All right.
To
You command
detain.
them. Okay. Let's roll for that then. Are you using your artifact for this?
Yeah. Yes. All right. Wait, how many hero points do we have? 0?
This is
I haven't
not a
rolled yet.
valid
I have
point.
not rolled yet. I have not rolled yet, just out of curiosity.
Is anyone feeding Iris's
All right,
horrible idea?
I'm gonna assume it was
Who
0.
would like to say that this is not a hero action?
Yeah.
Hope doesn't get a say. So that would be a 11 plus my 3 of soul. So that's a 14.
Okay. So they will do it, but there's going to be a cost.
Bet.
The artifact, you feel like a sharp pain as it burrows into your palm. You see the blood spurt up, and then the flesh seal back over it. Cayman scales begin penetrating up like dimples. But they've heard your call. These bodies start to reshape as they grow snouts, teeth, and claws. Anastasia, since you're closest, do you resist?
I don't think she does.
All right. Then almost lovingly, caringly, they sweep you up and hold you tight. You kind of sink into their rotted bodies like mud, like warm mud. It's both horrifying and satisfying.
Like a mud bath.
Sebastian, like a mud bath. And they whisper to you secret things that only you know. Whispering of the things that you've forgotten. And it's not very, very soothing. Sebastian, you watch this. You kind of remember the one stray path from this encampment up to the temple, to the place where people go back to the earth. You kind of hear that lilting song of the earth calling, come back, come back.
Sebastian is thinking about how he walked away from this path and the travesty that that was and the insult that that was, especially to then follow so-called God. And I think he almost absent-mindedly reaches up and takes off his collar and just throws it to the side, and then looks to Iris and nods towards the path, towards the temple, and says, "We must do this now." We're being called.
And do you?
That depends on what exactly Sebastian is referencing. Because she did detain the other 3 for a reason, and it was to ensure that he survives.
I will say he is gesturing towards Iris to guide the creatures holding Anastasia
Okay.
along.
That will absolutely sway her into agreeing to guide the creatures. Do the creatures get a hold of the other two?
And that's where we switch. Brody, this might be the time to use the rest of your edge.
Yes. I would
Oh.
like to use get out of the way to avoid an attack.
If you spend both or the rest of your edge, I will say that you can actually get you and Ren out. If
Done.
you only spend one,
I'll
you
use
get
my.
out.
I'll use both edges.
They're slow. They're and kind of awkward. You throw punches. Your hands and nails kind of claw through faces and rip off limbs. It's kind of like fighting through vines and filth. But you push through. You feel things clawing at you. You're bloodied, both of you, but you're away and into the darkness before you're dragged off to whatever fate is currently waiting Anastasia.
Can I just, in one small little victory, have smacked one of those things in the face with my light?
Absolutely.
Awesome. I'm happy now.
Now that your light is covered in mud, you're in darkness.
I wipe it off on clothes and keep going.
You keep trying to wipe it, and it's like the mud is eaten away
Oh, great.
at the actual metal and glass, and then now it's starting to burn into your fingers.
Yep. We're getting rid of that. We're just keeping hold of Brody.
Do you both stumble out into the darkness? And first, before we find out what happens to you, we shall go back to the other three. I'm assuming Sebastian is leading the other two, up to the temple.
Yes.
It's a stonework. The stones are probably older than humanity itself. Whatever creature placed them here has been long forgotten, but the purpose has not. This is a place of reverence. This is a place of worship. This is a place of renewal. As they say, death is only the beginning.
As these creatures that Iris summoned has carried Anastasia up this path, almost everything unnatural has been shed. She's no longer wearing her hat. Her boots are gone. Her shirt is gone. Her pants, the only thing covering her dignity are vines and white flowers. It's the only thing that covers her.
Iris, by the time you've reached the top of this temple, your feet have kind of shifted back almost into a claw.
I forgot. The only thing unnatural that's still on her body is her recorder.
Yep, because that's your talisman. Your nails are kind of grown out, Iris. That those scales are decorative, not just green, but almost rainbow, luminescent. Sebastian, you know the god is manifesting. The mother is returning. You've done your work, and she sees you. You just need to finish it. There's a slab at the top and several sharp pieces of obsidian. They've probably seen eons, but they've served only one purpose. And do you carry it out? Do you both carry it out?
Before we make that decision, Sebastian steps over to Iris. He cradles her face in his hands and he says, "This is what we're here for, and it is going to be okay."
There is absolute struggle behind her eyes as to whether or not what is happening is okay. She has fought most of her existence and life with accepting this fact that she is a part of this. Whether or not she remembers all of it or not is still unknown to her. It still feels like, as stated, a bunch of deja vu. The little trinkets of memory here and there, but when Sebastian says this, she trusts him wholeheartedly, and if it is going to be okay and he says it's going to be okay, then it will be. So she gives a strong nod. Yes, I agree.
And he leans in and he kisses you. Then he draws back the slightest bit and rests his forehead against yours and says, "Through all of this, remember that I love you." And then he kisses her again.
And when he draws away, she says, "And I love you."
And he holds on to her for just a few more moments because this is the first time he's heard these words from her.
And they are very true and from the heart.
And he takes a deep breath and then he turns to the slab.
And do you carry out the deed?
Yes.
Anastasia, you're still at peace, surrounded by these creatures holding you tight. You barely even feel it as the obsidian slips in. There's almost like a wellspring in your chest. Something bursts forth, stripping away all the illusions and doubts, returning you to a place that you have long, long forgotten, not even before now, not this life or the life before that. You touch your first life. And you feel perhaps it's not your mother, but it's certainly maternal. Wrap its arms around you and whisper in your ear, "Welcome home, daughter. Fear not. You are a god now. Let the ignorant continue to be blind. You will see all. They are still blinded by their love and devotion. There is nothing holding you back now.
I
Sebastian,
think.
and oh, go ahead.
Oh, I think the last thing of what they think is Anastasia, as her lifeblood drips onto the stone and seeps into the flowers, her hands snap out in like vines toward both of them, sending them visions of little girls playing and the witches from Willow Hills when it was just nature. And in both of their heads, they hear, "Nothing ever remains buried, and the forest will never forget." As the vines slowly fall from both of their wrists.
You two have purpose. Another purpose. And as the torchlight fades, and the warmth of your skin is against each other, that shared purpose will renew you again and again, and your sisters shall be freed. Brody and Ren,
Still running.
you're running headlong into the dark. Light starts filtering towards you. The ground loses that organic, natural state. It's kind of like a weird progression from mud to stone, and then you can hear the footfalls on metal. Like an old catwalk. You begin seeing very orange reds, angry colors of light, like a furnace. You emerge above a large factory. It stretches on as far as you can see. It is literally like a cancerous tumor on the earth, penetrating, corrupting, and washing away Gaia's taint. This is humanity. You've returned home. Your true home. The first home of the human race. You have found Metropolis. And out there in the vast eternal city, you'll find the answers to all your questions. And that's where we'll end it.
No. I love how we have Team Villain, which you guys can't see is like the top half of our Zoom call.
First things first, is everyone okay? Because that last bit was pretty intense.
Yes. I'm good.
Gucci.
Good.
Perfect.
First of all, Dido, consider the definition of team villain: humanity and corruption and capitalism versus nature and naturalism.
I mean, good and evil is subjective. I mean, people who are evil think they're doing good, but the people who think they're doing evil think they are also doing good.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just being an asshole.
I hope everybody had an amazing time. Any thoughts? Any
Can we do this
I
again
think-
sometime?
Absolutely.
Mountain mommy cannot be evil.
Mountain mommy cannot be evil.
Wow. Wow.
So one
Look.
of you became an wild and god. Two of you became avatars, and the other two, well, you get to go back to the beginning.
Brody
So
lives on.
it's a happy story, cult style. So,
Take me home, mountain mommy.
To the place where I belong.
Mountain mama.
I
Sorry.
just fucking cry. That is so perfect. Amen. Amen, mountain mommy.
so I'd like to thank you personally for being here. I absolutely had a
you.
blast. So,
Thank you.
No,
and to
thank
everybody
you.
else, I shall do the outro if Hoop is ready, I guess. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And again, thank you to this amazing cast who just basically went for it. If you'd like what we do, you can join our Discord at the button in the description. It's where we post our monthly casting calls, schedules, and where we just generally hang out and be great nerds, giant nerds, and tell wonderful stories. So if we'd love to have you to come hang out, roll some more dice. And once again, I'd like to go around and give everybody a chance to tell the people who you are and where we can find you. So let us go with the wonderful new and wild and god, Dido.
I'm Dido. You can find me on Twitter at Dido11. I'm not sure. I'm going to be in Locust on the 9th with Elsie. We're going to have some more woodsy adventures. It'll be great. I thought that it would be kind of fun to be one of the descendants of the Coven. And just kind of have that in there that she didn't know, but she found out while she was in the Amazon, which is why her memories were repressed when she was, taken away from her mother. But tonight was so fun. Jason, thank you so much for letting us just be wild and crazy in the woods and scare us half to death. Everybody was amazing. And I love you guys.
Thank you. I'll go over to Iris, Elsie.
That's me. Hi, I'm Iris. I had no idea what I was gonna do when I started playing this character. But last month, as Locust taught us, I enjoyed screwing the entire cast over. I'm so sorry, Dido. I really wanted to keep your
joke's on you.
Your track record, though. Your track record with Kult. I had to be true to it. Because if Hoop can't kill you, I have to. Clearly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll see what happens next Sunday when I'm in Kult with Dido. Ew. But until then, I am not in anything. My July is very light. Let me check my schedule. It is over here somewhere. Okie dokie, here we go. Load. I am in, Locust with Rise, and Dido, which is a personal attack on my life, as I have been saying. We are doing 80s Appalachia, Cabin in the Woods style. I will be playing a cheerleader. She is way more likable than I have to do 2 Locusts over, because now I've been in Locust last Sunday. Way more likable than Miranda. Please come and support her. She is not a bad person, inherently. Then on the 11th, we are doing Gay Camp again, where we are expressing our LGBTQIA extended version of what was supposed to be a slasher flick for the month of June for Gay Pride, where we are assessing each and everyone's personal experiences and trying to navigate through those with therapy, and also eventually a slasher flick. It'll be really cathartic. After that, on the 26th, I am in Modulu, where I will be playing a sister to my OG Call of Cthulhu campaigns family member. The other one died because Hoop killed her. The only time Hoop's ever killed me. She has stacked stats compared to her, so we'll see how she does. And on the 29th, at the end of the month, I am doing King's Gambit, where I play a spy who absolutely deserves every time she has ever been shot. Please come support her. She's a terrible person. And that's it for me for the month of July.
Cool. And our next JD, our wonderful evil Sebastian.
Yeah, I didn't know going into this what moves were going to happen. This all came as a surprise to me as well. It was a good time. I thought he might go the self-sacrifice route, but he didn't. I've just now gotten a reputation. This is the third horror game I've been in where I have done horrible things and attempted to or actually killed another player. Third in a row, but it's fine. I don't usually do things like that. And speaking of that, tomorrow night you can find me with Live from the Apocalypse, where I usually am, as I am one of their storytellers and cast members. It is the season finale of Season 1 of A Season of Secrets and Shadows, our Regency Monster Hearts game. The rest of the season is available on YouTube. You should check it out. There are some familiar faces from the Lost Caravan in the cast. It is a very good time. It is very wild, and we will be bringing that first part to a close. I'll be back here on Saturday for the, speaking of finales, finale of Nova, where I will cry a lot, I am sure, as we all will. It's gonna be fine. Nobody's gonna die. Nothing bad is going to happen. It's totally cool. And then on Sunday, you can find me back with Live from the Apocalypse for Academy H, our Masks Actual Play podcast, where we live record every other Sunday, and I play a traumatized boy who does bone magic, and we love him. I'm not going to list everything else I'm in, because when I'm looking at my calendar right now, I'm realizing I'm in a 14-day streak, and it's fine. Everything's fine. I will get a break next Saturday. It'll be good. And if you want to see more of what I'm in, follow me on Twitter. I will update, and you will see where I'm going to be at on any given night, because it is a lot of places.
Okay, so Zoom won't unfocus me, but I'm sorry. 14-day streak? What?
Oh, that's nothing.
What? There we
Yeah,
go. I'm sorry, what?
That's crazy.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
I
fine.
didn't
It's
intend
totally
to do
fine.
this. Yeah,
Just
it's
having
totally
a normal
fine.
one.
Not all of my characters are going through major trauma right now, too. It's totally okay. I'm not running 3 of the games. It's totally fine.
Next, we'll go over to Ren/Mir. How does it feel to have gotten everybody killed?
You know, I think Ren might be in for some continued trauma. But at least she has, or at least they have their emotional support, Brody.
Yes.
Emotional support,
As do
Brody.
we all know. As do we all know. Hi, I am Mir. I played Ren. Had a time. Ren had time. Ren has no idea where the fuck they are. Anyway, so that's an adventure. You can find me on the internet as Mir Draws. And you can find me here at Lost Caravan on Monday for part 2 of Symborum, where I play Marley, who is a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, rather sheltered warrior who is about to learn how the world works. So more trauma. Come watch this bright young woman be just absolutely horrified by life in the darks of Davokar. Yeah, so that's what I've got on my docket. Yeah, it was
Excellent.
a good game tonight. Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
fun. I had to tell
And
my partner to text me before she came home so that I would know that that's what the noises downstairs were.
perfect. And
Paranoia?
finally,
What's that?
Brody, Benji, I get, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first game, so
Yeah. Hi, I'm Benji. Thank you. I want to thank everyone. I had an absolute blast, and you all made it an amazing experience. You can find me on the information superhighway at Chance 47 on most of the sites. And as far as other things I have coming up, hopefully more stuff soon. And I'll just smile and remain hopeful about that.
You better come back.
Yes,
You better be back.
absolutely.
I think I will. I think I will.
Don't forget,
100%.
Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu ends tonight, so you can still apply for Call of Cthulhu week. It's done.
It's
Oh.
done.
Oh,
Never mind.
Mm.
Maybe I'm a pretty nice person, so
Apply-
maybe
apply
I can get
anyways.
you in.
Apply anyways.
cool.
He can have my spot.
Sweet.
Oh.
Because
Spots haven't been filled. Open casting is just closed.
Oh, yeah. Just message Dido.
So yeah, just message me.
Excellent. Cool. And me, I'm Jason Fryer, writer, game designer, and general curmudgeon. For the record, I've been writing and designing for Kult since 1994, 93. So it's a wonderful opportunity to actually get to share it with people like you, because you're just absolutely amazing players. And I had an absolute blast. Let's see. It looks like we're going to be rating Gnome Anne. So thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for hopefully being scared, and we hope to scare you again soon. A pleasure. Take care.